Good afternoon and welcome. So before we get started, we're going to do a little housekeeping here. I adjusted the level of the music lower so to see if my voice level is more even with the music. So if you could type in the comments whether that is working or you had to increase your volume to hear me, then I can make some adjustments on this side. So we'll wait a few seconds. There's a little delay between when you type the comment and I can see it. So I'm waiting to see a comment as we get ready to... There we go. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm assuming that means yes, it's better. So we're going to get started talking about Freeform on Go for Lunch for August 22nd, 2023. Brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm your host, Roger Harmon, and if you're new here, please type new in the comments so we can get to know you and welcome you to our community. And we are here, as always, to make your technology work for you. This is National Eat a Peach Day. So August 22nd is the day you should be eating a peach. And I recall when I was growing up in Tucson, we went one time, at least, to Elfrida, Arizona, which is near the New Mexico border, and picked our own peaches. And then we found a little fruit stand that was on Swan, south of Speedway on the west side of the street, that brought in Elfrida peaches, and we would go buy a whole lug of peaches, and it was great. So we'll talk more about peaches here a little later, and if you want to pick your own fruit, there is a link in the comment section below that will show you where you can do that around southern Arizona. So Freeform, what is it? So it is an app included with your Apple device's operating system. Now, I have seen some comments where people said they had to download it. So if you don't find it, then it is in the App Store. So it requires iOS or iPad OS 16.2 and macOS Ventura. So if you haven't upgraded to those, maybe this will be a reason to go ahead and do that. So what it does is allows you to organize your notes, your projects, your plans, and be creative and lay things out just the way you want them. And we're going to learn the features of Freeform today, so just so you give you basic operational understanding so you can dive in and start messing with it yourself. So Freeform has a little preparation to make it sync between all your devices using iCloud. So, of course, you need to be signed in to Apple iCloud with your Apple ID. Then on each device, you would go to Settings, you would go to iCloud, you would go to Apps using iCloud, you would click on Show All because they don't show up there at the beginning, and then you would slide the Freeform sliders to green. So, hola, Leslie Ann, glad you're here. This is because you requested it. And Freeform TV is a service that has nothing to do with Apple Freeform. And Diana says she had to turn down the music. And let's see here. Turned down the music and had to turn up the voice. Okay, so we'll keep waiting on that. Okay, so let's just show you how to do the setup to make Freeform work. So we're going to go to our iPad here on the Inspectocam and take our pencil. And you're going to notice that Freeform uses the pencil a lot, so if you're wondering what to use an Apple Pencil for, Freeform might be the answer. So we're going to click here on Settings, the little gear icon. Then we're going to, okay, Leslie Ann, just try again on search. You may have to go to the App Store if you're not finding it on your Mac. And so we're going to click on our name up here. Then we're going to click on iCloud. And up here it says apps using iCloud, which you probably can't read because it's in gray. But then at the bottom of this section it says show all. We click on that, and then to get to Freeform you're going to have to scroll up, and here's Freeform at the bottom, and you want it to be green like that. So you can see that on the right. So that's how you do that. And it works basically on all your devices the same way. So when you first go to Freeform, you'll be greeted with this welcome screen, which tells you that you can get creative, sketch out a project design or a mood board, or it could be a goal board, and brainstorm ideas, and so much more. You can build your board by adding media, files, links, text, and more anywhere on the board to design your creative space. And you can collaborate with others. You can invite people to share your board and add ideas together in real time. So we're going to take a little look here at the different components of the board. So let's go to Freeform, and I'll just give you the overview, and then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty. So we're going to talk about the side panel here. We're going to talk about these icons up here, and then these controls over here in the right-hand corner. So first of all, you can turn that side panel on and off with this icon up here. You've seen this in Mail, for example. So it works the same way. It hides and displays the side panel. Then you can look at all your boards. You can look at your recent boards. You can look at your shared boards, the ones that you have favorited, and the ones that you have recently deleted. So they'll stay there, and you can get back to one if you decided that you didn't really want to delete it. So let's look here at the center. So first of all, you can add a sticky note by clicking on this icon. Here is where you choose a shape or a line, or you can select to use the pencil tool or pen tool. You add text by clicking on this icon with the A. You add media, such as photos, movies, and web links here. And then you can also bring in a file, a document from your files. Then up in the upper right-hand corner, you can create a new board by clicking on the little square with the pen sticking out, same as you would create a new message in Mail. And then your share sheet here does several different things. It allows you to invite people to collaborate, so you can adjust what they can do. So who has access? Only invited people, or the other choice here is anybody that has the link. And then you can change their permissions from being able to make changes or just being able to view your board, and you can allow other people to invite even more people. So that's what and then down below here you will have more choices. So Leslie Ann got it. Good. So here's a completed board. So this was a preparing for a keynote presentation on solar energy. So we can see some of the trends here. So obviously a lot of this was written by hand using an Apple Pencil. Here they brought in some media, some photographs. Here's a solar panel where they took the background out, which is a feature that's built into Freeform. And they brought in a web link here. This is your this is an iPad that they're looking at here. So this is your pen control. So when you click on this pen here that has the A on it, then you can actually write and it will convert it to text. Then you have a couple different kinds of pens, a crayon. This is a highlighting tool, an eraser, and then this is how you select things by clicking on this pen. Then you have some color choices. This one here in the lower right lets you pick from the actual color palette, so you can do almost any color you want. And let's look at a different board here. So here you can see they use the post-it feature in the lower right hand corner. These are web links in the lower left hand corner. So more media and graphics. And this shows you a better picture of the collaboration function. So here are the people that are collaborating on this. So you can see you can have several people, and you can also include video. We won't do that today because I'm afraid it might not work on our bandwidth, but that is also audio can be included in here, and then messages, how you invite people. So let's do a demonstration, shall we? So I'm going to go to Freeform on the Mac to get started. And I'm going to ask for a volunteer. Let's see. You there in the cowboy hat. We'll volunteer you. So I'm going to go up here to the share sheet in the upper right hand corner. There's the guy in the cowboy hat. So we're going to click on that. Then you won't be able to see beyond here. So it says messages preparing. The messages popped up, and I have a message to Bob, and I'm going to just type a little note here. Here it is, and hit return to send the message. So now Bob is getting a link to collaborate, and it was delivered to Bob. So now I'm going to go back to Freeform and start preparing, because it takes a little while for the connection. So let's get a title, shall we? So I'm going to click up here, and it says type to enter text. So I'm going to type in find peaches. And you can see this little toolbar came up here, and I need to select the text before I can change it. So I'm going to triple click. You can do this in any app. Click on the font size there and make it 72. There we go. So now you can see it's in black. The black circle is the color picker. So we're going to click on that and make it a peach color. There we go. So now I can grab it and move it anywhere I want all around here. So you can see, hopefully you can see there's a orange vertical line that tells me I'm centered. So there we are. So now I see a picture up here of a guy in a cowboy hat. So Bob is getting ready, but we're not quite ready for Bob yet. So we're going to go here to our media, go to photos, and look at this. We have a photo of a peach that I pulled off of a website earlier. I'm going to click add in the lower right hand corner, and there it is. So now I can put that up here, and out of nowhere this text appeared. I like peaches. So that's great. So now I'm going to make a very daring, oh look, it moved. It moved up to the top of the picture. So there's I like peaches. So this will work on my iPad, I hope. So, and I say I hope because as I was trying this earlier, it didn't always work on my iPad. So we're going to see what happens. So we're going to go to the Inspectocam. Here we are live on the iPad, and you can see it looks just like it did on the Mac. We have our heading, we have our text that Bob added, and we have a peach. So I'm going to click on the pen tool right there, and I'm going to click on the pen that has the A on it, which is actually already selected, and I'm going to write lunch. And it didn't get the question mark, so what I can do here is click on the keyboard icon right here and click on 1, 2, 3 and add a question mark. So now I can click on this. Let's see. So I'm going to click on the undo, which is this circle to the left right here, and that got rid of my keyboard. So now I can tap on this, hit my selection tool, and it's not working the way I wanted it to. So Bob lives down. Oh, look, Bob added yes. He's saying here, how about TTT? What is TTT, you may wonder? Well, that's the Tucson Truck Terminal, also known as the Triple T. So, and now he moved that text. So I'm wondering, Bob, do you have any information about the Triple T? What kind of food do they have there? So I'm going to wait here for Bob to add some more information to our board. So Bob is collaborating with me in real time. I'm actually going to go back to the Mac version of Freeform because it's going to be a little easier for you to see. Oh, look, Bob moved the peach. Look, Mom, no hands. And while Bob is moving the peach here, he's trying to bring in something else, and I think it's hiding behind the peach. So while we're waiting for that, we'll direct your attention to the lower left-hand corner. So this says 100%. There we go. Bob is adding an image. Oh, we could go to Omar's Highway Chef restaurant. So you can see here, we can click here and change our view. Let's say we want 50%, so that makes things smaller. We'll go back here to 100%. Now there's Bob's picture that popped up, and he's entering some more text. And Leslie Ann does not know why she would ever use this. Well, hopefully we'll find a way. I have a thought. Okay, there's the address. So Bob has moved the address. So now, while we're waiting here, I'm going to go to the Inspectocam. Oh, look, that looks good. Looking like maybe, what, a club sandwich? Looks like we could split that. So here we are on the Inspectocam, and we're going to turn on our iPhone. And look, we are here on the iPhone, and we are seeing the same thing on the iPhone that we're seeing on the iPad and the Mac. So if you were using this for a trip, for example, obviously you're not going to probably take your Mac with you. You could, I guess, if it's a MacBook. But it's, as I expected, it's a club sandwich. So you can see anytime Bob moves something, his picture appears, so you can see who is the collaborator, which is kind of nice. So we're going to go back to Freeform on the Mac and watch what Bob is doing. So you can use it on all your devices, iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Well, that looks good. That looks like some other kind of sandwich, a nice looking pickle there. And so Bob, I think, is going to tell us what kind of sandwich that second image is. And so some interesting comments. We'll talk about that. Ah, that's a grilled cheese. Yeah, I see some yellow stuff in there. Looks like a grilled cheese. Bob turned that to that text to a cheese color. So I think you're getting the idea how this works. Let's add a sticky note. So up here on the top, click on that. There's a sticky note. And we can click here to have bold text. We can change the size of the text. So let's make it 24. So now if we type up here, it's doing spelling correction. So that's how the sticky note works. So we're at 100%. Let's go to 75%. So now we can see everything. So I think you can see how the collaboration works. And we could get real brave here and see if we can talk to Bob. So I'm going to click on audio here. And we are going to click on call. I don't think you can see this. So I'm calling Bob on FaceTime. And we'll see if his audio will come through on our broadcast. So Bob, pick up your FaceTime call.
Hello, Roger.
Hello. Okay, so can anybody else hear that besides me? Let me know in the comments. So now, okay, so Bob says he's not hearing himself through Safari, which is probably a good thing because we'd be getting feedback. Oh, Bob says he never listens. So anyway, you can do live audio and live video with Freeform. So now I'm going to, okay, Leslie Ann confirms we can't hear Bob. Okay, so now that I've got you all excited about Freeform and going and getting peaches, I discovered in my research, here we are. I'm going to go ahead and end our call with Bob. Bye, Bob. And so I discovered that due to, I'm trying to see the, find it here. Well, I won't take up the time to find it. But here we are at Apple Annie's Orchard, which is in Wilcox area. And due to freezing weather, they have no peaches. Sorry. But if you go to the link that I put down below, which is the pickyourown.org, and this is specifically for Tucson and surrounding counties, you will find another orchard in Graham County called Apple or Angle Orchard. And even closer to home, you can find Howard's Orchard. So here's Howard's Orchard, which is up in Catalina. So if we click on the minus sign here on the map, you can see here is the highway going through Catalina. So you can see it's on Pinal Street, just off the highway, a couple of blocks. And if we go back here to Howard's main page, so there's the address, the email, phone number, and any of these places I would strongly suggest calling ahead and making sure they have available what you're looking for. Because when I investigated Howard's website, it seemed like they're only open on the weekends, and it also said they were open last weekend, August 17th and 19th through the 19th. Actually, they're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So give Howard's a call if that's where you want to go, and see if they have any peaches and if they're open this next weekend. And of course, you probably want to go early in the day to beat the heat. So there's my road trip advice for all of you. So let's go and see what comments you have. I noticed that there was a little conversation back and forth. And let's get back to where so here we are. And so Leslie Ann found it. And Carolyn is here. Good to see you, Carolyn. And Bob answered a question for Susan. And I've heard some people refer to it as a canvas as well, but Apple calls it a board. And Susan said it's a good thing for teams in workplaces working on projects. And Leslie Ann says she's all done with that, as is Susan. So Leslie Ann has the best job. You never have to show up, and Susan can stay in her jammies if she wants. And some of us often do that. So, and Carolyn loves her boss. What I like about being your own boss is you never have to ask permission to go on vacation. And Leslie Ann agrees with that. And Susan agrees with that. Yep, so Leslie Ann found the statement there that there are no peaches in 2023 at Apple Annie. So check with Howard's up in Catalina, and see if they have any. So Carolyn is planning a trip to Paris with a small group, and she thinks this will be a good planning board for the trip. And that was my thought too. So great minds think alike, Carolyn. And so you can, and Bob is saying scroll down on the board. Gee, I wonder what's happened to our board. Let's find out. So let me get the board up here on my screen. There we go. And we're going to scroll down. We have a scroll bar over here on the right. And so here's a link to Omar's Highway Chef restaurant. So if we click on that, I'm not going to click on that just yet. I'll wait until I see what else is down here. So Bob added a picture when in Texas, stop at Rudy's Barbecue, which Bob and I did on our road trip to Macstock, and that's in Amarillo, Texas. Rudy's Barbecue. You will be happy. So now we're going to see how this link works. So we're going to click on the link, and the link is not opening. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I had double clicked on the link. So now I'm going to switch to Safari. And there you have it. A nice link for Omar's Highway Chef Cafe. Or I guess it's just Highway Chef. And you can see here where Bob may have gotten some pictures. That looks like the chicken noodle soup with some really strong looking noodles. So that's great. So that's how a link works in okay, Leslie Ann's not convinced yet. I was hoping that we would plan Leslie Ann's next trip, and yeah, so the sticky notes are a good feature, Diana, and of course that means you could do the whole thing on a Mac without messing with the iPad and the pencil if you wanted to. So it could all be done on a Mac, and of course the pictures could be added from the Mac, and the web links could be added on the Mac. And so yeah, you could do the whole thing on the Mac without worrying about an Apple Pencil. So I hope that has intrigued you to dive in and work with Freeform a little bit, see how it might work on your next do-it-yourself project or planning for organization event that you're planning or you're part of. So again, it is only limited by your imagination. So Leslie Ann has a technique for planning a trip. Call Overseas to Venture Travel and pick one. Sounds pretty good to me. So, okay, so we obviously have already done the questions. And as always, please share the GoFor Gazette, which comes to you every Monday morning about 7, with anybody that you know that has Apple devices. And of course, they'll have a link to the YouTube video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click on that little bell so you'll be notified when we go live. And if it didn't happen automatically yesterday, Zoom was updated to 5.15.10. So Zoom is always updating. Okay, well, if there are no more questions, thank you everybody for attending. It was fun, and thank you especially to Bob for collaborating. It was great to see how that works. So if you have any questions, any ideas for future Go for Lunch topics, you can contact me by email or by telephone, and that information is appearing right now. So have a great day. Take care.